Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Just getting started by showing you this client's set. She had this really gorgeous color changing ombre butterfly set with 3D butterflies. It was about 4+ weeks and there was a lot of lifting on them, so we just took them all the way down and we're just starting fresh. This new set that we did was a labor of love, but we both loved it so much and we both were surprised at how amazing it came out. I'm still fairly new to doing nails, and every single time I do someone's nails, I'm always like surprising myself at what I'm capable of. And this set was definitely one where I was just kind of like, wow, like this was kind of cool. Pat on the back. So just to get started, sorry about the color changing. I don't know what happens. Maybe my head, like I'm leaning forward and I like mess up the lighting, but I don't know. Sometimes it goes a little bit yellow. Just getting started, you saw I sprayed her down with some alcohol. I like to do that. It helps to, you know, disinfect a little bit and soften up the cuticles. You can use water or like oil to push the skin away, and then I go in with my diamond skiver bit and just go back and forth around the cuticle area to just pull up any dead skin. So it has been a little over 4 weeks since her last service, so just making sure, especially this client, she really loves the prep part of getting her nails done. Usually once I'm done with prepping and adding the tip, she's like super excited, like, oh, I'm ready to go, which is really funny because it would not last, right? But she really loves the prep part. So after going in with the diamond bit, I'm actually going in with this pink cone bit, and I'm further cleaning up the cuticle. Same low speed, it's just getting rid of any excess. I do go in and additionally buff her skin around the eponychium and sidewalls with a diamond kind of round. It's not a ball bit, but it's kind of like a dome top cone. I don't show that in the video, but I just do that for her because she really loves the prep and wants her you know, pre-extension service to be really nice. She really enjoys her skin to be nice and smooth and buff and everything like that. Most clients just, you know, don't really care about that. They just want to get to like the designing part, but this client really enjoys this part of the nails. Once done with that, I'm going to go in with my sanding band or arbor band. I'm using a medium. This is from Young Nails, and I'm just going to lightly buff the nail. We did do a removal before, so I'm just smoothing out the nail as lightly as I can. As you can see, I'm using a very light touch, and I don't spend a lot of time doing this. You do not need to, if using the correct products, over buff the nail, and you will damage the nail if you do that as well. So just a quick removal of the shine, and then just further removing any cuticle that I might see. Sometimes I might even put it on the skin around the sidewalls. If there's like any dry skin there, I'll use the sanding band at a fairly low speed to kind of clean that up as well. And there's a color changing. Not really sure why that's happening. So these are the tips that I'm adding for her. These are some clear Coffin tips from Amazon. Nothing crazy, just using a super tiny bead to adhere these to her nails. They do come with a well. I don't usually like to apply too much glue to the natural nail. I try to apply the tip to the extreme. When I say the tip of the nail, pretty much that free edge that you're seeing of her natural nail is where I'm extending the tip. I think on one of the fingers, maybe one of the pinkies, actually I applied it so close to the tip, so when I went into file, it kind of like removed itself. But I just went back in with a little bit of glue and added that back. I just had a big boo-boo on my finger by the tip actually ripping off my nail, so I'm extra cautious now to not apply tips to the full nail or down the nail plate. Just, you know, they don't need to be on the nail. You don't want to have a lot of glue on the nail. You want it to be that acrylic extension or gel or poly gel, whatever it is you're using. So I just enjoy using the very tip of the tip, not using the well. I did clip them down just a tiny bit for her, and we're just going in with my hand file. This is an 80/80 grit that I get from Amazon. It's from a company called Pana. Very, you know, they have a lot of items there. And I love this emery board just because I think it was there that I did it, right? So in the filing right there, that's what I was talking about earlier. The tip was so close to the edge of her nail that when I was filing, it just kind of removed itself a little bit. But I was like, back on with a little dab of glue. But I like this file because it is very stiff, and I can get a really nice, clean, sharp shape, which I for sure love. So I'm just going in really quickly with this 80/80, and I am just filing the sidewalls. These tips are Coffin. That's the, you know, the shape that we're going for. a little bit between a coffin and a tapered square, I guess you could say, but I'm just making sure that it fits perfectly sidewall to sidewall on her natural nail versus having a little bit of a lip off the edge. Then I'm going to take that same arbor band and just blend that tip to the natural nail. I want a nice smooth seamless transition from her nail to the extension. So I'm bringing it back to my old priming system. This is the Mia Secret Dehydrator. It's been working for me since I started doing nails. I'm just bringing it back because it's trusty and it works, right? And it's on the table, so why not? I'm going in with a coat of the dehydrator. That just helps to remove any oil and moisture from the nail. Then a coat of the Mia Secret Extra Bond. And then once that's dry, I go in with a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond, right? Mostly around the cuticle area because that's usually where my clients are prone to lifting. And as you can see, her skin looks beautiful and perfect. At this point, she's just kind of like, I'm ready to leave. This looks great. I'm just like, nah, girl, we got a lot to do. And on this set, we did a whole lot. So the design that we, actually, I'm so stressed out about doing nails, not in a bad way, but just kind of like there's so many options of things to do, and I have so many things saved on my Instagram and just so many things of inspiration that I want to do, that when clients come in and they kind of give me free reign, my brain is just kind of like, what do I do? There's like a million things that I want to try. And when she came in, I actually sat in the room for about an hour before, just scrolling through Instagram, picking up colors, putting them down, and I had so many ideas, but it's just kind of like, to pick one is just so hard. So when she came in, I actually planned on doing a pink encapsulated flower set for her, and I know she loves encapsulated flowers. She actually has a set on my channel where we did orange and pink and kind of yellow flowers in her nails, and she actually talked about it at this appointment, kind of like, oh my god, that was my favorite set. And I was just kind of like, really? So it was really great that we were going to do that, but she reminded me of another set that she had sent me reference photos to, and I was like, you know what, this is great, because I definitely wouldn't have thought of it, and I think it's good to be like on my toes in terms of doing the set. So she definitely brought this design to me, and I was like, yeah, sure, we can do it. But then when we actually started doing it, I was like, oh crap, this is a lot more work than I thought, but let's do it. She was totally rooting me on, so that was fun, and it came out really great. I'm so proud of myself, and she loved it, so that's great too. But back to what I'm actually doing in the video. I am just going in, like, you know, with a thin coat of clear acrylic. This is Young Nails Core Clear, and I'm using Young Nails monomer, and I just like to apply a thin coat of clear acrylic down the length of all of the nails, including the tip. Some people just do it on the natural part of the nail, but I like to do it on the tip as well, so that when the client comes in for a redesign / refill, I can file down and not have colored acrylic on the tip as well. It just helps me to get a good base of acrylic, so that when I have to redesign, I don't have to file through anything or, you know, potentially hurt the client. So again, I'm not sure what's going on, but this client requested a stiletto pinky, which is like the jam right now. I love this. I used to do it for myself all the time, but I haven't, so maybe I should start doing it for myself too. It's gonna be a thing. So I went in with my straight edge clipper and just clipping a little bit to the side. It just kind of helps me so that I don't have to do too much filing. With the hand file, you can just kind of clip, but I'm making sure to not make it a super sharp stiletto in the beginning. I prefer to leave a little bit more thickness on the nail and then file to shape after the acrylic has been formed, because if I file it too thin now, I just won't have, I guess, enough base to kind of build product up on. That's just, you know, how I feel about stilettos. But we are going in with a solid color of acrylic today. I actually had intentions on using a nude and white, because we will be adding a white base to some of the nails, but she was just kind of like, can't you just paint it? And I was like, you know what, you so smart, I'm gonna just paint it. So we're just going in with first nude by Not Polished, and I was telling her I am so loving this acrylic, and I'm trying my best not to use it on everybody, but it is just so gorgeous. You're gonna see how beautiful it looks on her skin tone. So first nude is a nude, obviously, but it's not too, I feel like a lot of the nudes that I have experienced are really like beigey, kind of like on the pastel kind of light side, but this one is so perfect. It has like that undertone of like a warm brown, but it's light enough, but not too light. I don't know, it's working for me. I really love this color by Not Polish. Oh, can't get over it. It's so good, and it looks beautiful on her skin tone. We are just doing a simple acrylic application. I will not be clear capping any of these nails, so I will be building for structure. And as you can see, the stiletto nail's a little bit tricky just because I'm used to dragging that product down and folding it over the tip, but when you have a stiletto, you kind of have to just make sure you keep the product over the center of the nail so that you don't warp that shape. We want that nice kind of triangle point happening there. And I'm just building up with additional beads to make sure that we have a strong apex, especially because it's a pointy nail. It has less stability as it moves down to the tip of the nail. We don't want that cracking or anything like that. You're gonna see me perpetually wiping my sidewalls, pushing that product towards the middle, and just making sure that we have good structure on the nail. You want that apex to be nice and strong, not a bulky nail. Definitely we didn't end up with bulky nails. That's another thing too. My application is getting so much better. I was talking to her during the set, just kind of like, it's so great to kind of really see my progress in real time, especially with the videos and everything. I'm so proud of every single time I do nails. I'm a little bit more proud of myself, and you know, just kind of patting myself on the back like I'm doing a pretty good job, right? But yes, we're just going to be doing a single color application of this acrylic on all of these gorgeous nails. And as you can see, the stiletto is beautiful, beautiful apex, great shaping, not too thick, nice and slender, beautiful. So I'm gonna be doing the rest of the application like I normally do. I like to start my first bead right around the natural free edge of the nail. And I like to work a little bit drier. So I kind of pat, I know a lot of people like wet their brush and continue working on it, but I feel like it just makes the acrylic a little bit more moist and kind of runny. So I actually like to pat my brush on my napkin and just kind of wait for the acrylic to dry just a little bit so that I can really mold it and move it wherever I want it to be. I'm getting really good right now at like picking up like just the right bead like you saw there, that I don't actually have to waste any product by folding it over. I can just kind of bring it down to the edge of the nail and then kind of just pat it and it just sits like perfectly. I'm working on that. That's like my personal goal when working with acrylic right now, and it's been pretty good. Like you see there, I picked just a good enough bead, and I like to really mold my product so that I don't have to do too much filing afterwards. I feel like if you apply your acrylic in a way where you can kind of keep your shape while working with the acrylic, you have so much less work to do, and it's about working smarter, not harder. And it just comes with time and practice. I know when I first started with acrylic, I was so afraid of acrylic. Like there was a point where I was doing nails, how long ago, like 9 years ago, just for myself, and just working with acrylic was so stressful. I'm sure the products were not as good as they are now, but just watching myself do acrylic work now was like, what, who is this girl? I like her. But yes, just making sure to build up structure. So my second bead, well, my third bead at this point is a little bit higher than the first two, and this one is helping to build my apex. So I like to bring that bead down maybe 3/4 of the way and then swipe to blend into the first two beads, and always wiping my sidewalls and patting that free edge to make sure that we maintain that shape. Again, I do not want to have to do too much filing towards the end of this service. I feel like if I do my application really well with the acrylic and just take my time, I'm not in a rush or anything like that, then I have less work to do, and it's just, you know, better for me, I think. The last bead that I'm gonna focus really on is the cuticle bead. I pick a smaller bead, place it a little bit lower than the cuticle, and then press it up and around where I need it to go so that it touches the area right up until the skin, and then pushing it to the sidewalls and then blending over that way. If I happen to flood, then I'll just take the tips of my brush and just kind of sweep it around just like that. Sweep it around the nail, kind of get rid of anything that's touching the skin. You don't want that to happen. You want there to be a clear separation between the skin and the product. Otherwise, you're definitely going to be prone to lifting or anything like that. And then if you need more structure on the nail, then just add as many beads as you need to. I'm not somebody who's like uber focused on like 1 beading or 2 beading or 3 beading. Like I know in nail school, we had to perfect the 3 bead method for state boards. But once you have your license, you can kind of just do whatever works for you. Sometimes I can 1 bead a nail, if I'm just in that mood where I'm like, I'm not trying to be here all day. But like in in this case, I'll use as many as necessary. So same thing for the rest of the, I guess I'm going back on this nail to add more acrylic. There you go. I felt like I needed a little bit more. Boom, boom. Add as many as you need to get exactly what it is you're looking for. And it's a beautiful, beautiful shaped nail. So just a simple, solid acrylic application on all of these nails with this first nude color by Not Polish. And guys, look at how beautiful that thumb looks. Look at all the nails. Just first of all, the shape looks great on her, the length looks great, and the color is just beautiful. So I like to go in with my e-file after my application with acrylic. I know most people enjoy or prefer to hand file first. I like to e-file. I feel like I get, it just works better for me. It's just, you know, smarter working on my part. It just, you know, works for me that way. I'm going in with this medium carbide bit. I like a medium because it eats up a little bit more product than a fine. I feel like fine is just for like smoothing out. Coarse obviously is too coarse. You don't want to like eat through your product, but medium just kind of does. It's the best of both worlds. I guess it's kind of like just right with Goldilocks, you know. Cleaning up the surface of the nail. I like to go sideways up the length of the nail, back and forth to smooth the surface. Sometimes you'll see me swipe my thumb down the length of the nail. Then I like to focus on the cuticle and sidewall area. You see me going around the cuticle, just making sure to get that bit right up in there so we can get a nice clean separation from product to skin, and thin that out. Sometimes when I'm pushing the acrylic up towards the cuticle and sidewall areas, I get a little bit of a lip. So using this process is just smooth out the nail so it's a natural transition from her skin, natural nail, and then that extension. I'm not going to show you all of the fingers because it's pretty much the same process, but yep, just e-filing the nails so that they're a nice smooth surface and debulking wherever necessary. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go in with my hand file. So by now the nails look beautiful, and look at the stiletto, guys. It looks gorgeous on her. This color is beautiful. Like, this color is just everything. I love it so much. I'm just going to focus on maintaining shape at this point. So I've done all the hard work. The application of the acrylic was great. The e-filing definitely helped. So once I get to this point, it's really just like cleaning things up, making it as sharp as I want it to be, or as round as I want it to be. I don't like to do a lot of hand filing. It's a lot of motion on your back and your arm and your wrist and your shoulders. I just, you know, prefer for this to be the least amount of work for myself as possible. In terms of this stiletto, we decided to not go super pointy. I wanted to leave it just a mildly pointy, like slightly round tip, just so that, you know, she could get used to it. She's never done this shape before. Wow, look at how beautiful this ring finger looks. So for the stiletto, I was letting her know, like, I had stilettos before and I poked a lot of holes in my jeans and leggings, so just keep that in mind. So we decided to go slightly soft with the stiletto tip. In terms of the more square shaped nails, the coffin or tapered square shaped, I'm just cleaning up the sidewalls, making sure there's a good separation. I don't want there to be a lot of bulk on the sides as well. Cleaning up the tip right underneath. You see me swiping up and away. Sometimes I get product there, and then making sure that I don't know what's happening there, making sure that the free edge is nice and sharp. I like to squeeze the finger and do an up and down motion just like this. So I have my ring finger and pinky braced under the length of that nail. My thumb is on top. I squeeze really hard and I go up and down to get a nice, crisp, beautiful shape. Because we're going to be doing a lot of hand painting, I wanted to just make sure that the nails were super soft and buffed. So I'm going in with this buffing block, and I'm just going to be buffing the surface of the nails on the top and bottom. I like to do the bottom just because when doing that serious, you know, hand file with the 80/80, it's a little bit sharp on the bottom. So just so that she doesn't like scratch herself or anything like that, I just run the buffer on the bottom of the nail. It doesn't warp the shape or anything. It just kind of softens the edges so that it's not like super sharp for the client. So I sent the client to wash her hands, but even afterwards, I'm spraying her down with alcohol again, and then using my manicure brush to just remove any debris that might be there after her washing, any soap or moisturizer that might be on the nails. We just want to dehydrate and get ready for this amazing gel design. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I was planning on doing some reverse French with a really cool white acrylic powder that kind of glow in the dark. It was super dope, but she was just kind of like, why are you making a lot of work for yourself? Just paint it. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. So I'm getting a lot of use out of these striper gel polishes. I know this is like a thing now with the nail companies. The nail brands are coming out with gel polish stripers. So the first thing that I did was look at the prices, and I was like, not gonna happen unless I'm really looking to spend some money. I went on AliExpress and I went on Amazon and found some other options. So definitely check that out if you're definitely interested in getting some of these, but you're like, I don't know if I want to spend 100 or 150 bucks on some gel polish liners, especially because you can just buy regular gel polish and just use liner brushes. I talk about liner brushes on my channel all the time, but I did find this set on Amazon. I think it came with about 12 or 13 different colors, and it was only like 20 or 30 bucks. So guys, definitely check this out before you invest in a different or more expensive pack. And we are just going to be drawing some French lines for her, or some French tips in white. So I'm really loving this gel set, and funny enough that the clients that have come in have wanted like serious hand art, so I've been making, you know, good use of these gel polishes. One thing to keep in mind is that the base of the brush, kind of like where I'm holding that thick stick, I guess, before the brush part, does hold a lot of polish on it. So you just need to be cautious to make sure that you don't get a blob dripping down the length of that tube and falling onto your surface. But I'm just focused on drawing a really gorgeous, look at that beautiful deep almondy shape nail bed area. I like to start by drawing the center line to kind of give myself a guideline of how deep I want that French to be, and then going from one side to the next, just making sure we have a nice kind of even towards the middle shape. This client does have a little bit of a wobble to her finger, so we were talking about that, and I was explaining to her, you know, like it may look a little weird when applying tips. I make sure to not follow the fingertips, so especially when doing French as well, do not follow the fingertips, follow the same line that you would with the tip, so looking down the knuckles, and then make your French based on that. I'm going to clean the sidewalls really quickly just so that we don't have an excess of product, and we're going to get started with this design. So as you can see, we've got the phone out. She wanted Queen of Hearts nails, guys. So when she sent me this on Instagram, it was like a month or two ago, she sent it to me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she said it today, like, why don't we just do that thing that I sent you? I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. So during the service, like, we're talking, we're laughing, we're watching TV, no problem. It wasn't until even this part, like I'm painting the white, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna draw a playing card, yeah, no problem. It wasn't until I actually had to start drawing the queen on the card that I was like, oh wait, I gotta do this. And she's like, I believe in you, you know, you can do it, like rooting me on. Thank goodness for her, because I was nervous, guys. Like my hand was shaking. I was like, how the hell am I gonna draw a whole playing card on this tiny ass nail? Like, it was stressful, but I'm making it work. So first thing I'm gonna do is draw a white base. We're only gonna do it on 2 nails, and I wanted to just make it look kind of like the card was off the side of the nail. This was inspired by another nail tech's work. We did modify it a little bit, but I will link that down below so you can definitely see what we were looking at when we you know, chose this design, I guess. But I'm just starting off with a white base. I'm drawing the cards off an angle on the nail. I think it just adds a little bit of dynamic, so it's not just like a flat playing card looking straight up at you. And also good for me, I didn't have to draw the whole thing on her nails, because that would have been super stressful. But just making sure that it's nice and clean. I'm gonna clean my sidewalls, and we don't want it to be too patchy, so just going over it. I think it would have been smart to just use a thicker white brush, but you know, I was stressed out, guys, like you know. So to get started, I was like, all right, let's just start by drawing a heart. Like, I think I can do this. And look, it was so simple, right? Look, boom, a line diagonal, another line in the other diagonal option in the corner of these little cards, and boom, I was like, ooh girl, it's happening. I drew a heart, feeling myself. Guys, I'm gonna erase this heart, don't even worry about it, because I didn't really think it through. But then I'm gonna go in with the black striper gel. So I'm only using 3 colors, black, white, and red. Yes, this gel set was really great. It had all the colors that I needed, and I felt like, you know, I have what I need to use this. One thing to keep in mind is that you can get thick lines and thin lines with these liner brushes. If you dry it out or like swipe it back and forth on the tip of the bottle, then you can get a really thin line like I'm doing now. If you want it to be a thicker line, you just leave a little bit more polish on the brush, and then it just gives you a thicker line. But in this case, I'm just trying to draw that inner line for these playing cards right around the edge. You know what I'm talking about. You see the reference photo kind of, you know, on her phone. But I'm just focusing on getting really thin, clean lines. I'm also letting the brush kind of do the work. I don't want to be drawing short little brush strokes, because then that's how you get a lot of little like I guess mishaps with your drawing. It's best, especially with these stripers, to just kind of let the brush do the work. So in terms of drawing the queen, I decided to draw her face first, and once I was able to do it on 1 nail, I felt like it just kind of flowed naturally on the other 3. We did 2 on each finger, so 4 in total. So I'm starting off with her little face, I guess, and then drawing her hat. I did originally have like a playing card that had like gold and red, and I was just kind of like, this is a whole bunch of color, girl. Let's just find a black and white card and I'll add red to it later. So that's the reference photo that we were looking at, and I was kind of taking liberties because it had so much detail on it, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that. So for the head of the queen, in the middle of her crown there's a heart, and I was just kind of like, I think that's important to get down. And then I'm just gonna draw some heart shaped, kind of like the Powerpuff Girls. Are we seeing those nails around right now where it's like the heart that's kind of like emanating outwards? That's basically the vibe that I was doing with the hat. So drawing the hat, the heart in the center, and then there you go, just drawing the same curved lines around to kind of create the, I guess, the lines in her hat. Then I'm gonna go in and draw her hair, which is just kind of like curvy lines going out in the other direction. Okay, one thing to keep in mind is to not be like me. I am notorious for not curing in between steps like this, and especially with this intricate drawing, I guess it's best to, when you're happy with one small thing, especially with gel polish, flash cure it, I promise you. Because in this case, guys, look at what I'm doing. I have not cured. If I make a mistake, I can't wipe it off. I have to start over. So don't be like me, please cure. It didn't happen on this one. Like, I'm even drawing her eyebrows. Like, I'm just going in, guys. Like, don't be like me. It happened on a different finger, maybe on her other hand, where I got so into the design and then messed up her eyebrow and was like, ooh. So I was like, cure this real quick so that when I wipe it off, you know, I don't have to wipe off everything. So definitely don't be like me. And then I'm just gonna draw her neck area, and then like, I guess her collar. Just drawing, it's a lot of stripes at this point, but you're gonna see me do it again because it was a little bit weird and off the side of the nail before. So I'm starting off with the hat. Her arm was like tired because it was a lot of drawing. So I'm starting off with the hat, 2 horizontal really, really thin lines, and then I'm going to draw her heart, right? So her hat has a heart in the middle. That was something that I was really, really focused on, just making sure we get a nice general heart shape. And then, do I wipe this off? Yes, look. Wiped it off. So starting over, same thing, 2 horizontal lines, and I'm trying to keep the lines parallel to the edges of the card, right? Like, you don't want the card to be like crooked. So just keeping things like that in mind. 2 really, really thin horizontal lines. And again, if you want your brush to be able to give you thin lines, just keep swiping the edges of the brush on the bottle, the neck of the bottle. Then I'm going to draw her face. I'm just drawing a vertical line down, trying to keep it in the same direction. It's not perfect, sorry, but trying to keep it in the same direction, or parallel to the edges of the card. And then I'm drawing her hair, just some swoops going in towards the edge of the card. Boom, look, it's happening. The queen is coming, guys. And then, so for her hat, at this point has a heart in the middle, so trying to just eyeball where her heart, oh look, I'm drawing her hair on the other side. Look at how simple. It looks like nothing right now, but it's coming. So I'm drawing the heart, I'm trying to make sure that it's centered, and then there you go, I'm drawing one side of the heart and then the other, and then the rest of her hat is just the emanating lines that follow the same curvature of the heart, just around and around and around until I like the thickness, and then there you go. I'm just going to continue drawing these curved shapes, and I'm not making them perfect. I will fill them in a little bit later with some red just to add some variation. I still haven't cured at this point, guys. Please don't be like me. Cure in between these elements that you're drawing so that you don't mess up and have to start over like I did already. It wasn't until this point where I was like, ooh, I don't know, I should cure because I'm not sure about these eyebrows, but I kept going because I'm a boss, right? And also really just, you know, I'm a masochist and just want to ruin my life, but just cure. Drawing her eyes, and then I was nervous. She actually made a joke. She was like, because the playing card reference that we had, the queen only had 2 lashes. She's like, throw on another lash for me. I'm just like, all right, girl, I got you. I'll put another lash on her. And also there was a nose on the playing card, and I was like, I am not doing that. I'm not going there. in drawing like actual facial features. So at this point I was nervous and I had her cure so that it was locked down. So if I made any further mistakes, then I didn't have to do that whole thing over. So I'm just going in with her lips, and I just made her lips a little bit thick because, you know, black girl magic. And also because I really didn't want to draw a nose on this little tiny playing card. Sorry that my nails are in the way. And that's another thing, you see black paint all over my nails, or red paint or white paint. If you have long nails, just be prepared and be careful not to like transfer the ink that gets from the bristle onto your nails onto the client's nails, because that did happen a little bit on the white surface. I had to like repaint it. But look at how beautiful that nude color is on her pointer finger. Just gorgeous. And just another note, do you see how her pointer finger is curving to the bottom right of the screen? So when I place that tip, I know I'm like should be talking about the artwork, but just looking at that finger, if I had placed that tip in line with her fingertip, that nail would be curving extremely to the bottom right. So you can kind of see how the nail is going straight down. That's what it basically does when you place your tips, imagining a line down the knuckles versus going with the fingertip. There was actually a thread on this Facebook nail group that I saw maybe a day or two ago that was just kind of like, do we follow the fingertips or do we make the nail straight? And I was definitely one of the people like, I just make the nail straight because I don't like the look of a wonky nail. But yes, just going in and adding some red accents to the design. And then she was just kind of like, where's my cue? And I was like, oh shoot, like I did draw hearts earlier in the design. So I went in with my white gel polish and just erased it, right? Just like white out, literally. Whiting out those hearts and cleaning up the black lines, had her cure, and then I'm gonna draw this tiny cue. I'm not gonna lie, this cue was the most stressful part of this design, because once I did the first lady, I was kind of like, I figured it out. I know what the general, you know, strokes are gonna be to get this face down. But this cue, guys, I was so nervous. My hands were shaking so hard. You can't really see it here, but look at how careful I'm being. And then I did a little heart underneath it. So drawing the 2 dots to kind of get the general gist of the heart, and then connecting them pretty much gave me my heart. Boom, I did it. So freaking proud of myself. You do not even understand. This was so intimidating, but I did it, right? So at this point, just making sure to do it again and make that cue. I was really nervous about the cues, and then adding the little heart down below to just make sure that we know that this is the Queen of Hearts. I am gonna add more red accents to the card, but I didn't realize that when I was taking photos, or at least editing the video and editing the photos, that I didn't do it on every single nail. I was like, ooh, my bad. So I think I did it on her other hand, where I like added stripes to the Queen's hat and added a little bit of red to her, like her neck bib. On some of these nails, like we don't even have that, but I think I just, in the stress of it all, just forgot to do it, and she didn't notice either. But the nails still looked great, but you might be able to see it in the final photos. So to ground these cards on her nails, I'm going in with my black liner and I'm just outlining the cards, and that definitely just added an element of just making it look like official and grounded on her nude nails, which was just so cool. Guys, like, aren't you proud of me? I'm so proud of myself for this set. Just uber cool. At this point, basically the hard work is done, and it is time to add some bling. So I have purchased, or in the past, I always go to Michael's and buy a whole bunch of Swarovski rhinestones. I don't really think it's good for me to buy like big bulk, like buying them in bulk online. So anytime I buy Swarovski, it's mostly from Michael's, and I bought this pack of Swarovski Red Hearts. It came with 6 in the pack, and it was like almost $20, but I bought it last year because I was like, oh, Valentine's Day is coming, I'm gonna use it. Definitely didn't use for Valentine's Day. How apt that I had them for this set. So I was like, you know what, we are gonna use them today because the Queen of Hearts needs some fancy heart bling. So I'm actually using the Bling Gel Method today. I'm going in with some Bling Gel from the Two Guys. Love it. It's super thick and viscous. And then I'm gonna go in with some Gloss It by Not Polish. And as you can see on the table, I like to create my bling designs before doing it on the client's nails. In the past, I would just kind of wing it, but I just find it's so stressful for me personally. So I just take a few minutes to kind of come up with the design, and the client can kind of see what I'm doing and get an idea and give input. We actually had more bling on it, but she was just kind of like, it's a little bit busy. Can you take some off? Which I think is great. You know, collaboration is, I mean, it's her nails, right? She has to like it. But I'm just going down the center with different, and these are all Swarovski rhinestones. That's another great thing about buying these packs on from Michaels is that they come with different varieties of sizes and colors and things like that. So if you want like red stones, you can buy a pack with different shades of red. You can see there's different types of red there, like glass types of red, a little bit more of a flat red. There's like a holographic AB red. We've got the red heart. So just, you know, check out Michaels in terms of Swarovski, and you can still buy it because they're selling to Michaels, right? And sometimes you can get like a buy one, get one half off. Definitely check that out. So I'm adding bling to basically every single nail. Initially, I was just going to do it to the French nails and to that solid nude nail, but we did add some bling to the cards as well, which I thought was uber special. And it's going to be the same method. Also, one great thing about doing the Bling Gel method is that your nails are already top coated, so they're done. Once cured, that pointer finger with the bling with the red heart is done. I'm adding the Bling Gel. I float some gloss it on top of it. That's the top coat, and then I stick my stones into both layers of gel, clean my sidewalls like that, cure, and then that nail is also done. So you don't have to worry about going in and glossy top coating your nails and getting top coat on top of the nails. I know that that's something that I don't care for. I'm always kind of like, gotta go in and wipe these rhinestones off to make sure there's no top coat on it. If you do this method, you definitely don't have to worry about that. One caveat though is that the rhinestones do move. Gravity is a factor. I forgot for a second what I was saying. Because you have two layers of really thick gel, the rhinestones do shift a little bit. So you'll have to just make sure to work quickly and just go back and check the placement of your items before curing, because you might end up with like some shifting stones. So I decided to add a little bit of bling to my playing cards. I just felt like it was a little bit flat and we just needed a tiny bit of sparkle. As you can see, I'm just adding 3 crystal AB rhinestones. These are Swarovski, and adding them to the cards around the edges of that Q and crown, and on the crowns I'm adding to her crown right there a red rhinestone in the middle. So on this nail, as you can see on her thumb, her hat is like white stripes. On the other hand, I don't know why I forgot to do it. Maybe we were talking too much, or I was like uber stressed out about this really crazy design. I forgot to do it on this hand, but basically I did alternating red and white stripes. So her hat on the other hand was red and white. So just adding a little bit more red to the set, so that just hints of, you know, pops of red or anything like that. So on this nail, I'm going to add a red stone to the middle of her hat, and then the 3, there you go, middle of her hat, and you're gonna see it moving. By the time I'm done, I'm gonna have to go back and place it back. That's a thing about Bling Gel. There you go, I'm moving it back to where it belongs. And then 3 crystal AB rhinestones around the Q and heart. Gonna have my client cure, and then that finger is done. But make sure it will move the red stone back to where it needs to be, and then have her cure really quickly. This is the final set, guys. So freaking proud of myself. These look so cool and graphic. Here's another shot for you. You can see on her other hand how the hat has red in it. Totally forgot. Whoops, my bad. But I have an action shot for you. Definitely let me know. And my puppies are in the background because I had to take the shot outside so we can get it in true lighting. So say hello to my babies. But definitely let me know what you think about the set. I love it. Like if you like, subscribe for more. And, you know, give me a shout out for all this hard work in the hand painting. I'm super, super proud of myself. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.